Hi YouTube! I am finally doing this. I was supposed to do this like nearly 3 months ago now. I suck. Go ahead, shout at me, tweet me, abuse. I need it. So this is my, as you can probably see from the title, my Sounds Live Feels Live Leeds / Manchester Soundcheck experience. Tour experience, whatever you want to say it. My Sheffield one went down really well, so I thought I would do it for the others. If you watch my Sheffield one, I did say that I just had Manchester for Soundcheck, but obviously this is for Leeds too. Basically, I met this very lovely girl who I class her as one of my best friends now, and I hope she does too. Her name is Lucy. I love her. I was on Twitter and I just tweeted, like, I really want Soundcheck again. I can't wait until Manchester. And I only had £40, I think, left before I got paid. Like, I got paid like the day after Leeds. And obviously everyone was wanting like £100 a ticket, which is what they were anyway, and I couldn't find anyone that would like let me have a ticket where I pay them like a certain amount here and then a certain amount another time. And it was just like, I was like, oh, I've got a ticket anyway for Leeds, I don't mind, it's a good seat. I can deal with it if I don't have Soundcheck. I can deal with it. And there's a reason as well behind why I wanted Soundcheck. I enjoyed it so much from when I did it at Sheffield. It was the best experience I have ever done. And I wanted it again for Leeds because I have really bad anxiety when it comes to concerts. Like, my anxiety out in, like, if I'm walking around town or I have to go meet my friends somewhere, is getting better. I don't panic as much as I used to. And that's probably because of the job I do. I deal with public all the time, so I think that's probably what it is. But when it comes to concerts, I get so panicky and my anxiety is just out of this world that I can't deal with it. I can't deal with waiting in a huge queue, especially if you don't queue outside. If you queue outside, it's not that bad because no, you're not pushing as much and it's not an enclosed area. For Leeds, it was like getting to, I think it was the day before the concert as well that I did this, and I think it was, I don't know what time it was nearly, I think it was like nearly 5 or something at night, and I got a tweet from Lucy. Obviously at this point in time I didn't know her, and it basically said, can I DM you, because obviously I didn't follow her, and I was like, yeah, sure. So I followed her back and she DM'd me. She said that I could have the ticket if I wanted to because she's so desperate to sell it that she would sell it me for 80 instead of 100, which is what she was originally selling it me at. So I was like, I can do that, but I would have to, at the moment I've only got £40 in my bank. Obviously I need some of that for food and stuff in Leeds. I'd already got a hotel and stuff, that was already paid for, but I obviously need it for food and travel. So would you like let me pay you 20 and then I'll pay you the rest whenever I am able to like pay you back? And she was so lovely about it. She was like, yeah, sure, I can do that because I'm so desperate to sell it that I'll do that. So we met up on the day of the concert, and she drove from Manchester to Leeds with her friend, and they were running late, and I was stood at the doors with the people who check you in and the security, and I had to get them to keep the door open for like 5 minutes because they had parked in a car park, but they parked like so far away from the arena they thought they were right next to it, and they parked like so far away that they were running across across Leeds to try and get to the arena. So I had to hold the door open, and they're like, you've got a 5-minute leeway. So I'm like on the phone like, can you hurry up, can you hurry up? Because they had Soundcheck as well, so you know, I didn't want them to miss it. They'd never had Soundcheck, so I didn't want them to miss it either. So she eventually got there, we eventually got in, we were the last people to check in. And we got our lanyard, got our wristband. The wristband was actually, it's up on my pin board. I have cut them off because work and stuff. It was like a dark green. Probably insert a picture here. And I had my white one on from Sheffield still, with my, and they obviously put one on for Leeds, and one of the pods, if I remember rightly, was white. I was like, oh, maybe sneak in. But no, when she was putting it on my wrist, she saw the white one and she was like, I'm going to have to put it over that one, because one of the wristbands is white today and you could use it to sneak into the pod. And I was like, too smart for their own good. But went in Soundcheck, we were the last ones in, so we was like right at the back, which I didn't really mind. We had a lot of fun. I'm probably going to get this wrong because it was so long ago. They answered a lot of questions. They answered a little girl, I don't know how old she was, but she sounded so tiny and everyone was just awing at her. The boys were just like awing at her. And then I remember some girl, she got to answer the question, she was like having a full-on panic attack, and Luke was taking the piss, and Michael was like, you shouldn't be taking the piss, that's a serious thing. It's like, but I remember rightly, they played Wraps Around Your Finger, and they didn't play it like anywhere on tour, and then they were like, should we play Catch Fire or should we play Wrapped? And Michael was like, I really want to play Wrapped, but Luke wants to play Catch. And I was like, please play Wrapped, please play Wrapped. I remember Lucy shouted Unpredictable, and they were like, we're not doing that. But they played Wrapped Around Your Finger, and I was like on the floor dying. They did Outer Space, and I want to say Long Way Home, but I don't think they did. I can't actually remember what the other song was. Don't quote me on that one. So they did that, they answered questions, all that jazz. That was about it. Went out, got merch, went to our seat, and I was full Rock Highway Socks out in block 101 in Leeds. And I think I was like row R or something like that. And for Sounds Like Feels Like, I was in block 101, but I was row E. And right, this really pissed me off. There was so many seats on the floor and in the blocks that were not taken, that they could have moved the people from the upper decks into, which really, really pissed me off, because they had ample opportunity to get closer and they wouldn't move people, and it was like, there's spaces that no one's taken, or they just not bothered to turn up. Luckily there was 2 seats in front of me and no one sat in them the whole time of the concert, and I was so happy because that meant I didn't have people's arms in the way of my camera and stuff. And obviously I got a lot of HQ videos, all of Michael. I obviously filmed I filmed Luke. I tried to film Callum the best I could, but when I put up my camera onto him, because of the spotlight, it kind of made him look really pale when he's not. And I got quite a lot of Ashton. I got like loads of his drum solos and stuff, so I was happy about that. And I got a lot of photos. If you want to see any of the videos, they're on my main YouTube channel. I will leave it in the top link of the description. And my photos and stuff are on my Twitter. You can go find them and stuff. I think I have on my threads, there's a thread of Sounds Like Feels Like photos and videos and stuff I've posted on my Twitter, so you can go and check that out on there. So yeah, that was about it. That all happened for Leeds. After the concert, we waited out the back. I was with my friend, and it was starting to really rain, and she'd actually got stranded. Luckily, I had a hotel, so I said that she could just jump in with me, so she did. And we left at about 12:30, and I was like, can we just stay till 1 o'clock and then we'll go? And she was too tired, so I was like, yeah, sure, we can go. By the time we got back to the hotel, it was 1 o'clock. And out the back of Leeds, like, the boys never ever meet people after concerts. Like, hardly ever. Especially out back of arenas. But Ashton and Callum came out at the back of Leeds at 1 o'clock that morning. The following day, obviously. And I was so annoyed because I was like, if we'd stayed, we could have met them, but we didn't, but whatever. But it made up for it the next day, like a hell of a lot. She left early that morning. She had to go to Nottingham for the concert the next day. And I got up, had a shower, and I just took a really slow walk to the train station, which was about a 20-minute walk from the hotel, but I just decided to take a really slow walk, go grab some breakfast somewhere. I set off like an hour and a half early. I didn't want to be sat in the hotel doing nothing, so I just set off. And it was raining as well, so obviously I was pulling the suitcase. I had my backpack on my back, I had my umbrella up, and I had like my phone in my hand, like following the map, so I didn't get lost on the way to the train station because it goes through all the back alleys and stuff. And as I was walking to the train station, on the way to the train station, you had to pass the Malmason Hotel in Leeds, which was where the boys were rumoured to be. I never actually believe rumours unless like people have met them there like the day before or on the day, or have like seen them in it, but no one had. It was just a rumour, so I didn't believe it. And as I was walking past the hotel, I obviously was looking at my maps on my phone, and I just like went like that to like check what street I was on, because it was like every street looked the same, especially when you're not from around there or it's been a year since you've been there. It's so hard to like navigate. Like, I knew my way, I've done it before, but it was so hard. I hadn't done it in a while. And as I looked up, there was like a back entrance to Malmason and a main entrance. And I was walking over the bridge, past the like back entrance, and as I looked up from my phone, I saw the like swivel doors of the back entrance like move. So obviously something moves. Like, I just looked over, and as I looked over, very large bodyguard walked out. I didn't recognise it, and then I clicked who it was. It was Dave. I was like, shit, hide, because what happened in Sheffield. And then behind him was Michael. I was like, oh my. There was like no girls around, no one. There was just me walking there trying to like get to the train station, and I just was like, just play it cool, just like walk as if you're following your phone, and then just accidentally bump into him as if you were like, sorry, I was just looking at my phone, I wasn't paying attention. So that's what I did. I just like carried on walking. I was looking at my phone, and I just kept looking, and then I accidentally brushed his shoulder to make it look like I wasn't paying attention. I just went, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I wasn't paying attention. And I made it look like I didn't know who it was until like I properly looked. And he was so sweet. He was like, oh no, I wasn't looking myself, like I'm half asleep and everything like that. And then he went, oh wait, you've got a Sounds Like Feels Like thing on your wrist. I was like, huh. I was trying not to play it. I was trying to play it off as like, no, I don't know who you are, sort of thing, but that didn't work. So obviously I was like, yeah, I went yesterday and I've been to Sheffield as well. And he was like, 2 sound checks? I was like, I've got Manchester sound check too. He's like, 3? It's like, why? We suck. I was like, but he was so sweet, and we just stood there talking on the street. Like, he was trying to like get under my brolly. That was like the sweetest thing he's ever done. He like hold my brolly up for me. Like, can you not, Siri? He like held it up for me while we were talking, and we just stood talking, and I was like, I really need to go get my train, which I didn't. I had like 30 minutes till my train, but I was like, I need to just go I just need to, yeah, just need to walk away before I start freaking out. And we just started talking. I just asked how he was, and he said he was tired, and he looked so cute. He was all cuddly, and I miss him. And so we just said bye, and it didn't even cross my mind to ask him for a photo. I was more bothered about the fact that I was talking to him and just having a conversation, and the fact that I made him smile that early in the morning made me so happy. And as I walked around the corner past the main entrance, there was like 5 girls stood there, obviously waiting for 5 sus. I felt so bad. I walked past and I was like, do I tell them or not? Because they obviously went and got on the bus in the back. I think they were just heading to Nottingham then. Because because my train was like an hour long, and as soon as I got off my train, they just got into Nottingham, so that's about right. So I just like walked back and I was like, by the way, I've just seen Michael, he's just got on the bus. I don't know if all the others are on there, but it was around that corner. So they obviously went around there, but I think they'd gone before that they even managed to. So that's what happened in Leeds. Yeah, and I obviously just got home. All my friends freaked out, like crazily freaked out, because they all wanted me to meet him, and it happened. But it annoys me because I've met him like 3 times now. I'll explain the 3rd time in a minute. But I've never ever got a photo with him. Out of every single time I met him, I've never had a photo. This happened with James McVeigh. I met him like 5 times before I ended up getting a photo. Because I always forget. I always just stand there talking, and I'm like, shit, I didn't get a photo. Like after they walked away, which is every time, but it makes it so much better because you remember the conversations more than just a quick photo. Sounds like Feels Like Manchester night 2, the 2nd night of Manchester. So with Sounds Like Feels Like Manchester, I stayed in a hotel overnight with my friend Lucy because I didn't think I would be able to go. My original plans fell through for accommodation, but my mum was nice enough to pay for a hotel for us, and we split the cost, so it didn't cost me that much to pay my mum back. So we did that, which was really nice actually, because although me and Lucy had literally only known each other for like just about a week, we just like stayed in the same room as each other. So yeah, that was quite fun. So as we went to the concert, I had Soundcheck and she didn't, which I felt really bad because like I went in Soundcheck and I just left her outside. I was like at the window like, let me in. It was so bad, but I felt really bad, but I like kept her up to date of like what was happening and stuff. So, and I saw her like, she was only like without me for like an hour, if that. So I went in, got my lanyard, got my wristband. I actually got her, I managed to get my Sheffield one off before Manchester. My green one from Leeds got so tight, it was actually, my wrist was going blue. So they had some scissors and they just cut it off for me, so I just had one on. And the one for Manchester was like a baby pink, which was, I wanted that one since Sheffield when I knew that it was like the colour that they had for Michael's pod. I wanted that colour so bad as a wristband, and I got it. I technically got all of the wristband colours, although I think it was like a baby blue for Callum's side in Sheffield, but I kind of got all the colours. It was like a bluey green that I got, so I kind of got all the colours that they had at Sheffield, which was kind of bizarre. So I got that, they cut the green one off and put the pink one on, and I didn't tighten it. I told them, can you not tighten it because of like what happened last time. So they didn't, they just left it loose, and I just put the wristband in my pocket or in my bag or something like that. And then obviously during the concert, because obviously they had to like check your colours of your wristband when you're on the floor, but during the concert I just slipped it back on. So, and I just took it off for the concert, which was better because I didn't have to worry about it being tight and stuff. So obviously I went to queue, and they just said queue down there if you're seated. They didn't really tell you directly where to go. It was kind of obvious, I just didn't pick it. there was like end of a queue and there was the beginning of a queue, and I just saw everyone sat down. I was like, oh, that must be the end of the queue, so I went down there. And as I was walking down, my friend actually shouted me over that I met her Rock Our Wee Socks out last year. So I went and sat with her. And we just got like chatting and reminiscing and stuff from like last year. And then they were like, right, we're going in now. And as I stood up, I like looked and there was like 5 or 6 people in front of us. And the man who like told everyone to stand up was like there. And I was like, wait, isn't this the back? She went, no, this is the front of the queue. I was like, wait, what? She went, yeah, this is the front of the Soundcheck queue. Like, those people have been here since like 6 AM this morning. I was like, oh my god. I had pushed in on people who've been queuing all like day to get to the front of Soundcheck. I felt like an absolute twat. I felt so bad. But she was like, oh, don't complain, like, there's so many people that have pushed in today, you'd be amazed. So I didn't feel that bad, but I still did. So we went in Soundcheck and we ended up in 2nd row of Soundcheck in like the middle box, because they put you in 1, 2, 3, put you in like A, B, C, and I was like in the middle block, 2nd row, like smack bang in front of the end of the walkway. I'll insert a picture here. So obviously the boys came out, they did a song, I forgot what it was. I can't remember what songs they did, it was all a blur after what happened. I do know they did Wrapped Around Your Finger. That was so... I had Michael like this much distance of me doing his Wrapped Around Your Finger solo. I was like, blessed. So that was a nice moment. And then, so they did a song, and then they came to the end of the walkway, and they all sat down, started to ask the questions. And then I think it was Michael. He went like, before we start, I wanted to test something. We did it the other night, and there wasn't that many people, but I wanted to test it for here because I know we've been to Manchester quite a lot. So he said, like, put your hand up if you've been to 3 concerts. So I put my hand up. He says, okay, put your hand up, and only your hand up, if you've been to 10 of our concerts. So I put my hand up. He went, okay, it's getting less and less. He went, right, hypothetically, who's been to 20 concerts? And I just went, because I've been to 22. Right, my friends always shout at me for saying this. I say I've been to 22, but I class the times I've met them and the times I've seen them live in concert as well as like seeing them, because I've technically seen them if I've met them in person. Shh. My hand up, and when I looked around, I was the only person with my hand up out of God knows how many people that were in that sound check. And I was like, I slowly put it down, and I like slowly slumped into my chair. I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Every single one of those boys had their eyes like staring at me. I was like, it was intimidating. It was horribly intimidating. And Michael just went, really? Like, you're not just saying that just to like talk to us? I was like, no, this would be my 22nd. And they all, like, Michael and Ashton mostly, they just went, whoa, like, and Ashton went, wait, so when was your first one? I went, my first one was technically One Direction's Take Me Home tour in Sheffield. Like, the first time he came in, I think it was like March or something like that. And then this is like the 22nd time. And he was like really amazed like at how many he'd been to, and Ashton was so sweet. I'm so thankful that you do that, because like our band sucks, and like you take your time out and your money out to do that for us, and that's so sweet. And it's people like you that we love doing this job, and we love our fans because of like people like you, which was really nice. And he kept looking over at me because I was in second row. Obviously they could hear me without having the microphone, which made it even better because everyone was like really quiet. They were just like, it's really awkward, she's the only person with a hand up. I think half of them didn't believe me. Soundcheck was over, went out, and I literally just slumped onto the floor near the doors waiting for my friend, and I just like cried. Because it didn't hit me that I'd spoke to him until like my friend went, you haven't even reacted to them, like the fact that you just spoke to Ashton and Michael. Especially Michael. Obviously I did after the sound check. I'm quite good at doing that. I keep it in until I don't need it anymore. So obviously my friends all came in, we all took photos and stuff. And then we all went in. We were all in different seats. And Lucy was actually supposed to be in like block H, and I was in like block A. I was in the last row of block A, but when I like went to my seat, she came to my seat with me because obviously she was on the floor anyway, so she could just walk to her seat. And I said, like, if there's any seats next to me, then you can squeeze in. Obviously Lucy's quite short. I don't know how short she is. I want to guess she's like under 5 foot. So don't quote me on that. But she's quite tiny compared to a 6 foot person like me. She's very tiny to me. She's so cute. The girls next to us were so lovely. They actually like managed to squash up. And like she was sat on my seat and she was sat on the girls next to me. She was just like squeezed in. So it looked like she was in a seat. And she managed to, the whole of 5 Seconds of Summer, the whole concert, she managed to stand in that little tiny gap with me. I don't know how we pulled that off, but we did. So that happened. And we were just dancing along together, and it was so nice to be able to just, you know, give something back for the fact that she gave me Soundcheck. That was so nice. And then obviously at the end of the concert, the lights came back on, and her friend was like sat next to us in the blocks, but because we were like on the edge of the row, we could talk to him all the time. And she went over to talk to him, and I was grabbing my bag and getting my coat on and stuff because it was like horrible weather outside. And as I picked my bag up, I saw something like yellow on the floor, and during the concert there was confetti falling from the roof. Like, I think it was from the previous concert that I'd been there or something, but they just kept falling from the roof. And they made a joke about it as well. But I thought it was a bit of confetti, so I picked it up, and if it was confetti I would just throw it back on the floor because I've been there, got confetti from concerts. I don't know why that is a thing. And as I picked it up, I realised the shape of it. Although that's not confetti, and it was like flat down on like on the back, like yellow. And as I picked it up and turned it over, it was a guitar pick. It was Callum Hood's guitar pick. I have never ever grabbed something so tight. I screamed so loud and I just dropped to the floor in tears because it had been, I had tried so many times at so many of their concerts to get a guitar pick. You don't know how hard it is. I was in block A, which is pretty far away from the pods, and mostly it's only people in pods who get them, but no, he managed to throw that so far. I am so happy he did. Which, I got this the other day in the necklace holder, but there you go. There's Callum Hood's guitar pick in this case, and it says, I don't know if you can read it, but it says Callum Hood on the date on it, which I'm keeping so close to my heart. So yeah, that happened, and obviously then we went back to the hotel and that was it. We sat crying for like an hour outside the venue. Well, I did anyway, because of the pic. I was so happy. I'll insert the picture of like what I looked like when I got the pic. My face is so happy. I've never been that happy, and it's all thanks to Callum and the boys, and I'm so happy for that. Manchester was amazing. And obviously the next day we checked out the hotel, went to have breakfast, and I saw someone I followed on Twitter was at the airport for Firesource. Obviously they were flying to Belfast, but I didn't know what time, and I had a train booked for a certain time, so I was like, oh, I won't be able to go. But I was, if I remember rightly, I was in the toilet texting her, and she was like paying for the meal, and I just texted her, shall we go to the airport? Lol. And she was like, okay. So we just hopped on a train to Manchester Airport and went there, and we found all the girls that were waiting to meet the boys, and the security told us to wait in a certain area and wait in a certain line. There was security there and everything. We saw the boys pull up in the car, but they didn't actually have enough time to stop to meet us because they had to go catch their plane. But I'll insert the photos here. They are so pretty in person, and I'm so happy I got to take Lucy because she's never actually done that. I've never been to the airport because it's always London they go to, but it was always been like her dream to do that, and I'm so glad that I could do that with her. And if I could experience Sounds Like Feels Live again, I really, really wish I could, because that was the best time of my life. I made so many friends, I made so many memories that I'm going to cherish for all my life. And I'm so thankful for 5 Sauce for doing this and bringing such an amazing community together from just music. So thank you to that. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope I answered all of your questions about Sounds Like Feels Live. And to everyone that has America soon, enjoy Sounds Like Feels Live. I hope you get everything you wanted and more from that tour. I hope if you have Soundcheck that the boys answer your question. I hope if you go to try meet them that you meet them. I hope if you really want a guitar pick or a drumstick that you manage to get one, because I know the feeling and it is the best feeling in the world. So thank you everybody for watching. Give it a like, comment, subscribe. I'll answer all of your questions in the comments below like I did last time, or if you want to tweet me, my Twitter and everything are all below, and I'll answer all your questions about it on there. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!